What if reaching space required no rocket, no explosion, and no astronaut training? Just a ride up, a cable stretching 96,000 kilometers from Earth's surface way past geostationary orbit into deep space, a climber car riding. That cable to space at 200 kilometers per hour. No fuel required. Japan's Obayashi Corporation says they can build this by 2050. Most physicists say it borders on the impossible. Both are right. The idea of a space elevator is over a century old. Konstantin Tsiolkovsky imagined it in 1895. He imagined a tower so tall it reached the stars. The physics were impeccable. The materials were impossible. Arthur C. Clarke formalized the concept in 1979. He predicted a space elevator would be built within 50 years. That deadline passed in 2029, but the dream didn't die. It just found better science to support it. The concept is based on one elegant idea: geosynchronous orbit. At 35,786 kilometers, objects orbit Earth at exactly Earth's rotational speed. Anchor a cable there. Let it hang down to Earth and extend outward past it. Gravity pulls the lower portion downward toward Earth. Centrifugal force pulls the upper portion outward into space. They balance perfectly. The cable stays taut without any active support. The laws of orbital mechanics do the structural engineering for you. Now you can attach a climber car. Power it up the cable. No rocket. No fuel. No explosion. The physics work perfectly on paper. The engineering has one catastrophic problem. No material on Earth is strong enough for the cable. The cable must support its own weight across 96,000 kilometers while under constant tension. The math is brutal. Steel. It would snap under its own weight long before reaching geostationary orbit. Not even close to sufficient. Kevlar, titanium, diamond fiber, every known material falls short of the required specific strength by significant margins. The required specific strength is approximately 65 gigapascals per gram per cubic centimeter. Nothing natural or synthetic achieves this. Then in 1991, Sumio Iijima at NEC in Japan discovered something that rewrote materials science completely. Carbon nanotubes. A carbon nanotube is a single sheet of carbon atoms rolled into a cylinder just 1 nanometer wide. And it is extraordinary, theoretically. Carbon nanotubes have a specific strength over 100 times greater than what the space elevator cable requires. They are lighter than aluminum, more conductive than copper, and harder than diamond under specific loading conditions. The problem: nobody has yet made a carbon nanotube cable longer than a few centimeters. Not yet. In 2012, Japan's Obayashi Corporation released a detailed engineering proposal. They called it the Space Elevator Construction Plan. Target date 2050, total cable length 96,000 kilometers. Passenger capacity 30 people per climber car. Cost $90 billion. The anchor station would not be on land. It would float on the ocean near the equator. An equatorial ocean location avoids earthquakes, allows the station to reposition if needed, and minimizes atmospheric interference with the cable path. The cable would be deployed downward from a geostationary satellite, unspooling simultaneously both toward Earth and outward into space. The climber is a vehicle that grips the ribbon cable and propels itself upward using electric motors. Power is delivered by high-intensity laser beams fired from the anchor station below, received by photovoltaic panels on the climber. At 200 kilometers per hour. The journey to geostationary orbit takes approximately 7.5 days. Multiple climbers can ride the cable simultaneously, spaced apart to balance the tension loads along the cable length. Producing a carbon nanotube ribbon 96,000 kilometers long is not a materials science problem. It is an entirely new industrial revolution. Current production rates make a single gram of nanotube material extremely expensive. The ribbon would require millions of tons. Space debris is the second existential threat. At orbital velocities Even a paint chip becomes lethal. The cable is stationary relative to Earth. Everything in lower orbit crosses it at thousands of kilometers per hour. One solution: make the cable actively steerable, able to be nudged sideways to dodge incoming debris in real time. Radiation is the third problem. The Van Allen belts bombard everything passing through them with intense, damaging particle radiation. Today, launching 1 kilogram to geostationary orbit costs approximately $20,000, even on the cheapest rockets available. With a space elevator, that cost drops to approximately $200 per kilogram. A 100-fold reduction overnight. At $200 per kilogram, space tourism becomes accessible to the middle class. Not just billionaires. Solar power satellites become economical. Mining asteroids for rare earth metals becomes viable. The entire solar system becomes industrially accessible. Human civilization's energy problem could be solved by a single ribbon of carbon atoms reaching to the stars. Obayashi Corporation is not alone. Shizuoka University has been conducting active space elevator research since the early 2000s. In 2018, Japanese researchers conducted the first ever space elevator experiment in orbit aboard the International Space Station. The experiment was tiny, centimeters, not kilometers, but it proved the fundamental climber concept works in space. Japan has also invested in carbon nanotube research through NIMS, the National Institute for Materials Science, with global partnerships. Progress on nanotube length and strength has accelerated, but the gap between lab and space elevator remains enormous. For the 2050 deadline to be realistic, a mass-producible nanotube cable must be demonstrated within the next decade. A globally coordinated orbital debris mitigation program must clear the most hazardous objects from the cable's operational corridor. First, the deployment satellite must be launched by a heavy lift rocket and placed at geostationary orbit precisely. From there, the ribbon unspools downward and outward simultaneously, guided by gravitational and centrifugal force into perfect alignment automatically. Then the first climber rides up, not with passengers, just to verify the cable, the power system, and the structure. Most physicists agree the concept is theoretically sound. Most engineers say the execution is nearly impossible. NASA's 2014 feasibility assessment called the concept technically achievable if a suitable cable material could be demonstrated in production. The International Space Elevator Consortium holds annual conferences. Engineers from 30 nations are actively working on component technologies today. Space elevator ribbon competitions have been held at NASA's AMIS Research Center to accelerate materials development progress. Every great civilizational leap began with an idea that the technology of its era called completely, hopelessly, impossibly unrealistic. The space elevator would end humanity's dependence on chemical rockets for reaching orbit permanently, forever. No exceptions. With cheap orbital access, Earth's energy crisis, resource scarcity, and even climate change become engineering problems rather than civilizational limits. We would become, definitively and irreversibly, a multiplanetary species capable of reaching beyond our home world. Japan has a remarkable history of committing to infrastructure projects the world called impossible before completion. The Seikan Tunnel, the Akashi Bridge. The country that builds on earthquake fault lines has learned that engineering is not about avoiding the impossible, it's about outlasting it. If any nation is culturally and technically positioned to attempt this, the evidence points clearly toward Japan. The space elevator may not be built by 2050, it may not be built by 2100, but it will be built because every time humanity has faced a physical limit, it has eventually found a material or a method or a mind to break it. 90-6,000 kilometers of cable, one ribbon of carbon atoms, and the stars get closer. Do you think you'll live to see a space elevator built? Tell me your prediction in the comments. If this story made you think differently about what humans can build, subscribe. There is much more to come.